everyone, it's Jennifer from Yellow Brick Road Farm. I just thought I would check in with the canning cupboard, and we're getting ready. This is one of our canning cupboards. I keep this like fully stocked. It's in our kitchen, so it's easy to grab. And then we have another rack that we keep covered up upstairs that, we don't have a basement in our house, so we just use what works. So we use sunshades over top of a rack, and two racks actually. So it's quite large and a quite large section. So we keep the bulk of it there. Accessible stuff here. So this is what we've got right now down here. I'm just going to run through really quickly so we can see what we need, coming out of the garden and what we're going to harvest. So right now we have we're fine for dill pickles. We have a ton of dill pickles actually, so I probably won't make a lot of those this year. We've got some lobster there. We've also got some crisp sweet dills, and those are great sandwich pickles. They're awesome. We've got some lobster there. Usually I try to can up a bit of lobster every year, and we'll use that up. We've used our frozen stuff up, so I'm going to be working on cans after now. We have, this is, of course, without a label, chicken stock, beef broth, so chicken broth, beef broth, those two terms are sometimes interchangeable, so one doesn't necessarily mean that we have the other. We have pizza sauce. I'm on my last jar of that, so tomatoes cannot come quick enough. I'm gonna need that. Tomato sauce, that is my last jar of tomato sauce as well, so we really need to get some more put up, and I know that this year I'm gonna need to do a few more jars of that because we were very close to running out. Before the next season. We've got zucchini salsa there, and then we've got regular picante salsa. So we are actually probably on our last 4 or 5 jars of those as well. So, we didn't hoard food by any stretch. We certainly have enough, but we are getting also quite close to needing, the harvest to come in. So, I usually try to make sure we have a little bit of a buffer, like I do with these bread and butter pickles. I usually try to make sure we have a little bit of a buffer of a few jars at least, in case the crop fails or something happens. But it's all right. So then we've got some boneless chicken. We've got some turkey soup. We've got some cooked chicken. I have to do up some beef. I haven't got any beef down here. We used our last jar, so I need some more beef put up and some ground beef. We also have some bean salad, and I'm good for that. I only make that every 2 years, so we have tons of that. Thousand Island dressing, same thing. I won't need to make that for a little while, probably 2 years, because that I have tons, and we just use it on burgers and things like that. Rhubarb barbecue sauce, we go through quite a bit of this, so I have frozen quite a bit of rhubarb, and I will be making this up when I have more time. So today was a beach day, so that's why I'm so red. And so we got to squeeze those things in the summer as well. Can't be all canning and preserving. And then we have just stewed rhubarb, which is one of our favorites. So I will do up some more of that, like I mentioned. We've still got quite a few jars though of that. Red pepper jelly, I got a ton of that. I've been making that. We've got crab apple jelly, and we've got all of our jellies over here: dandelion, peach, strawberry rhubarb, and strawberry rhubarb jam, and strawberry jam. So we're good for jams and jellies. Got quite a bit of that. Down here, we've pressure canned green beans and carrots and potatoes and beets. So we are good. I did pressure can turnip. I found that they discolored really badly with our water. Our water's really hard, so they discolor. If it happens to discolor a lot and they look really unappetizing, I just won't. It doesn't look nice. So then I just save those to give to the chickens in the winter, and that's just a nice treat for them. So unfortunately that happens sometimes. I try to use filtered water. I must have forgot last year when I did that. So we'll be using these up because it is looking like a good carrot harvest again this year. So we'll be getting ready to start putting those in the freezer and finishing up these last few jars. Plus I have some more upstairs, as well as potatoes. We have a lot of potatoes put up, which is great. We'll be using those, although we have a lot of fresh, which fantastic. That's just a great combination. We also dehydrate potatoes. I also grate them and dehydrate them. and also make like an instant mashed potato with dehydrating them. So it's good to have multiple different levels of preserving. And that's what I'm going to talk about tomorrow night at the Yarmouth exhibition, actually, is all of the different methods of preservation and how you can make sure like your harvest stays, like, you know, you can get through the winter, because we usually rely on all of this food to get us through the winter. So whether you pressure can it, whether you can it, whether you water bath can it, whether you dehydrate it, whether you freeze it, whether you ferment it, all of these things, you know, sort of matter when it comes to, or freeze drying as well, matter when it comes to fruit preservation. So then we have pickled beets. We have some cranberry juice. I'm out of some other juices that I usually make. So grape juice and, goodness, what's the other one? Apple juice and strawberry lemonade concentrate. So need to make some more of that. We have some applesauce, lots of applesauce, apples, pears. I have apple pie filling in there as well. Yeah, right there. Apple pie filling. So I'm good for that. I've got quite a bit of that canned up to last. That we make tarts and turnovers and apple crisps and all of those things. Now down here is my medicine cabinet. Oh, sorry. Down here, sorry, this is all my herbs on this side. And over here is more my teas and my tinctures and my medicinal herbs. So over here, we've got the organic onion powder, the garlic powder, the oregano, parsley, basil, dill, chives, red peppers, dried cherries, dried strawberries, sun-dried tomatoes, thyme, just all of that. We've got some rubs that I make up ahead of time, chicken rub, taco seasoning, ranch dip. Makes it really easy when we're making meals. So I like to have all of those in dried and ready to go. We also have some dried vegetables. I do mushrooms. I do quite a bit of mushrooms. I do shiitake. I do any mushrooms that I find on sale. I will dehydrate those and keep them on hand for throwing into soups and stews and things like that. Cabbage, same thing. When we have extra cabbage, I will do that. Yet last year we had a bumper crop of cabbage, so I was able to do that. Got some dried peppers here. This is, they're great for throwing into, again, soups, stews, roast chickens, things like that. The last of my sun-dried tomatoes, we've got those there. We've also got some tomato skins. So I really love to dehydrate the tomato skins off my tomatoes and use the whole tomato. And what I do is use that for a tomato paste base. So that allows me to have shelf-stable tomato paste, and that I can mix up at any time. So I like having that on hand. Now these are my medicinal herbs, and I have some borage tincture there. I have some comfrey, I have mullein, I have usnea, I have mint, I have calendula, red raspberry leaf. I have borage, some more borage. I have yarrow. I have quite a bit of things I'll you know, sort of dried and ready to go for when we need like special teas, or we want to make poultices, or we want to make some more tinctures. So anyway, that's just a little bit about what's here. We also have like all of our garlic. We have our onions over and our potatoes over in another section in the kitchen. And that is, I'll show you that right there. So, you know, like, yeah, lots of garlic. I also have lots of herbs drying and things like that. This is where my dehydrator lives and my canning supplies. As you can see, I've got some vinegar there, box of lemons. And I've got some seeds that we're starting to save. So yeah, so we're good. We've got lots of things that we are preserving and drying and getting ready. I'm going to be hauling a bunch of things out of the garden this week in order to preserve up. And anyway, happy canning, happy preserving, happy however you look after these things. You know, we don't have a root cellar like I mentioned, so we'll be doing some cold storage, and I'll make a video about that a little bit later about how we store potatoes, beets, turnip, carrots, and potatoes, beets, carrots, and turnip. Yeah, in our barn, in our unheated barn, so that they don't freeze through the winter. So anyway, all right, I'm happy harvesting.